It was said by the ancient Greeks that the secret to a happy existence is moderation in all aspects of life. When you find yourself getting out of sync with regard to balance, and especially when you feel that you don't have the time, that is the time when you need to stop and think the most. Eckhart Tolle teaches us that being present in the moment without distraction or worry is key to accessing true peace. The feeling of being overwhelmed by time constraints often arises when we are not fully engaged in the present moment. Now, there are times when people say things like, "Well, I don't have time for my family. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time for this and that. What would I do if I knew that I only had 6 months left to live?" That is the question that needs to be asked. When you realize that you are working too hard, or not spending enough time in your relationships, or that you are not spending enough time with the people who care about you and who care about you, you should ask yourself, what would I do if I only had 6 months to live, for guidance? If the thing you would like to do is to spend more time with the people who are significant in your life, then the time to begin spending that time is right now. It is a well-known joke that doctors claim they have never encountered a businessman who was on his deathbed and said, "Boy, I wish I'd spent more time at the office." The truth of the issue is that maintaining a sense of equilibrium and moderation in all aspects of your life allows you to be more productive and efficient. Keep in mind that the sole reason you are working is to enable you to take pleasure in the wonderful aspects of your life, such as the people you are with, the relationships you have, the things that bring you joy, and so on. Consider the following scenario. You are financially self-sufficient, you have more than $20 million in the bank, and at the same time, you only have 10 years left to live. While you are going to be in excellent health, you are also going to have all of the money that you require. What's more, you can't just sit around doing nothing. You have to put forth some effort. So, if you had the ability to work at anything, if you had all the money you needed, and if you didn't want to waste any time, what kind of job would you choose? If you had the ability to wave a magic wand and possess all of the talent and expertise that is necessary to be successful in any career, which field would you select for yourself? After that, you should begin conducting research in that topic by working in it on a part-time basis, working in it for free, reading books and taking courses, and getting in touch with individuals who are already working in it. Throughout the years, I have had conversations with literally thousands of people who have done that and finally changed out of their current work, sometimes within the same company, sometimes out of their current job, where they were not very content, and into a new career that they liked. They rose to prominence at their new work, and you have the ability to accomplish the same. Whoever wants to can do this. When you walk around seeing people who, of course, are not that way, they do not lack for anything they care about. They just need a few ingredients to create. Eckhart Tolle often emphasizes the importance of living with conscious awareness, being fully present in the now, rather than constantly rushing toward future goals. It is called the Law of Three, and it is going to be the law that I go over with you that I consider to be the most effective law of time management. Just by adhering to this law, you will be able to place yourself among the most successful and productive individuals in your world. My 30 years of research into the management of time served as the foundation for the Law of Three. What it basically says is that if you make a list of everything that you have to do in a week or a month, you will come up with 20 or 30 tasks or activities. Some people write down 40 or 50 tasks or activities. But if you look at this list, you will find that there are only 3 activities that you engage in your life that account for 90% of the value that you contribute to your life. Your life, there are just 3 things that are responsible for 90% of your happiness. This is true regardless of where you are in life. This Law of Three is applicable in any situation, and it is applicable to everyone. Whatever your profession may be, whether you are a student, a salesperson, an investment banker, a doctor, or a business owner, it will work for you. There is always a total of 3. In order to proceed, you must first compile a list of everything that you do, and then you must ask 3 questions. First and foremost, if I were to be limited to doing only one thing from this list for the entirety of the day, which of these activities would have the most significant and favorable effect on my life? You may also ask, which one activity would help me to double my income faster than anything else? As you read this list in contrast, it is eye-opening to see how much you already do so much of it already. In fact, you may not actually do one thing from this list for the entirety of the day, which is what you really want as an alternative. You draw a circle around that response because it is typically quite evident about what the solution is. Therefore, you pose the question once more. If I were limited to doing only 2 things throughout the entire day, what would be the second most beneficial thing that I could do? As you continue through your list, you will eventually get to the second item on the list. You will ask yourself if your daily mantra is to focus on the subtitle of the recommendation, the one common thread. After that, you pose the question for the 3rd time. If I could only take part in 3 activities throughout the entire day, which one would be the 3rd one? And you make a circle around it. Now, I have put each and every one of my students through this exercise, and they are all amazed because in only a few minutes, they have realized that these are the 3 most critical things they do in order to achieve their goals of gaining happiness, prosperity, and health. This is where Eckhart Tolle's teaching on presence comes into play. By focusing on what truly matters and eliminating distractions, you can access greater clarity in determining your priorities. And overall, you are very likely to be happy and sustained happiness. Therefore, the guideline is as follows. In your day-to-day life, you should do fewer things, but you should do more essential things, and you should do them more frequently. After that, you should work on getting better and better in each of those aspects of your life. The 3 things that you do that are more significant than anything else will shift throughout time. These 3 things are the most important things that you do, but you need to have a firm understanding of those 3 things. Furthermore, if you begin focusing solely on these 3 aspects, you will increase your output, performance, and productivity by a factor of 2 quite rapidly. In the event that you are able to focus on the 3 activities that are the most significant to you, there are 4 prerequisites that you must fulfill in order for these strategies to be effective for you. Let's refer to these as the 4 Ds. Desire is the first letter of the alphabet. When you are in this situation, you need to have a strong desire to be successful at managing your time. The decision is the second letter D. It is imperative that you come to the conclusion that you are going to pursue a career as an expert in this field. In light of the fact that we have discovered that in the absence of a decision, nothing ever occurs, you are going to enroll in this class, make use of these materials, and practice them over and over again. You need to make a decision that is crystal clear and unequivocal, like do or die, that this is a subject that you are going to master. It is discipline that is the 3rd D. You need to have the self-discipline to practice and repeat effective time management practices over and over again to achieve the desired results. The ability to exercise self-discipline is going to be the single most important factor in determining your level of success in life. In point of fact, we say that time management is the embodiment of self-discipline in action. And the 4th D, which is determination, is necessary in order to become an expert in time management. To be successful in this sector, you need to have the capacity to persevere. You need to have the determination to keep working hard for a sufficient amount of time until you reach a level of expertise that is exceptional. However, I assure you that the payback will be enormous, since, as you can see, managing your time is an essential component of managing your life. Every action you take to improve the quality of your time management will have a positive impact on every aspect of your life and will make an improvement. To put it another way, the quality of your life is directly proportional to the degree to which you are able to effectively manage your time. The manner in which you spend your time, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, will be the determining factor in the quality of your life. This is because your time is your life." End quote. Each and every one of our studies on high-performing men and women has led us to the conclusion that a strong focus on achieving results is directly correlated with significant life rewards. What you need to understand is that it is not the amount of time you invest, the activities you participate in, how sincere you are, how educated you are, how skillful you are, or how competent you are. Only what you generate, or the outcomes that you achieve as a result of the time that you invest, is taken into consideration when calculating the rewards that you receive. The money incentives, in addition to your emotional rewards, the positive feelings you have about yourself, are also important. A direct proportion of the quality and quantity of the outcomes that you create is always taken into consideration when determining your pay. This is what we refer to as the law of cause and effect, often known as the law of sowing and reaping. Your capacity to achieve outcomes and the ease with which you can obtain rewards is the root cause of everything that brings you success. Increasing the quality and quantity of your outcomes is something you need to keep in mind at all times if you want to improve the quality and quantity of the rewards you receive. The majority of people are extremely unproductive, which brings us to the second argument. If their lives depended on it, the majority of people would not be able to complete a full day's work. As a matter of fact, every single study that I have ever come across says that the typical person only operates at 50% of their potential. In short, we are selfish beings, aided by our urges. And life comparatively, it is a well-known truth that around 30% of the time spent at work is spent engaging in activities such as socializing, gossiping, wasting time, talking, chit-chatting, loitering around the water fountain, reading the newspaper, drinking coffee, and other similar activities. In your opinion, what does it mean? It indicates that the typical human is operating at a capacity that is less than 50%. If you're willing to do some of the things that we discuss in order to quickly get ahead of other individuals, you'll find that there are huge opportunities available to you. Once you've implemented the basic ideas, it's easy to see how obviously important it is for you to begin the practice of mindfulness every day. The state of being neat is the foundation upon which the process of getting things done is built. That you begin with a clean desk and that you finish with a clean desk is what we mean when we talk about the quality of neatness. In the beginning, you have a clean briefcase, and in the end, you have another clean briefcase. Taking the time to ensure that your entire working environment is clean, professional, productive, and efficient is something that you do and take pride in, building on it day by day, practicing it effectively, and moving forward. It is important to keep in mind that the outcomes of your actions are not the only thing that matters. What matters is how other people perceive your actions. I recently heard a story written by a self-made millionaire who stated that he had founded 5 successful firms, and one of the most important regulations that each and every employee had to follow was to keep their desks tidy. Now, one of the most important aspects of getting things done is the significance of focusing, which ultimately results in clarity. This is something that we discuss over and over again. To be focused means to have a complete and whole understanding of what it is that you are attempting to achieve. Being focused means that you have a complete understanding of the most important aspects of your results, and the reasons you are being paid. When we talk about hazy focus, we mean that it leads to fuzzy results, whereas clear focus leads to accurate results. What this indicates is that you give yourself time to consider. One of the questions that you take the time to consider is, why am I on the payroll? In what capacity have I been recruited to carry out my duties? Which of my key outcome areas are they? What are my primary responsibilities? Where can I find the 20% of my actions that are responsible for 80% of my outcomes? And so on. The ability to concentrate and see things clearly is the first step in getting things done. I prefer to think of this as doing something similar to constantly adjusting the camera so that you can maintain a very sharp focus. In this pursuit of focus, Eckhart Tolle's teachings on presence can offer profound insights. He emphasizes the importance of being fully present in the moment, aligning with a focused mind. According to Tolle, when you let go of distractions and immerse yourself in the now, clarity and focus follow naturally. Tolle's wisdom suggests that true focus comes from an awareness of the present moment, free from the burdens of past regrets or future anxieties, which is essential for achieving meaningful outcomes. Next, the principle of concentration is the next essential one. Concentration is the process that you engage in once you have determined the most significant thought, to accomplish the most important objective you have set for yourself. That being the case, you will need to focus your attention entirely on a single task until it is finished. In the previous year, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, the richest man in the world and the third richest man, were both present at a dinner party that took place in Bill Gates' native country. During the reception, there were approximately 100 visitors who were standing around, sipping wine and other beverages. All three of these individuals, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates' father, are close friends, and they were standing and conversing with one another. During the conversation, one of the other guests approached the three of them and asked, "Excuse me, gentlemen, you are three of the most important people in the world. What would you say is the most important key to success today?" They all turned around and said, "Focus. Focus is the most important quality for success in the modern world." Howell's reply was, "True. At a time when we are surrounded by so many different kinds of distractions, the capacity to concentrate is more crucial than any other attribute for getting things done successfully." Stephanie Kinter. Now, when I was young and having no money, I established a concept, and that belief was that if wealthy and powerful people advise you to do something, you should do it. In the event that they tell you that this is the secret to their achievement, you ought to at least put it into practice for a while to determine whether or not it is applicable to you. I was able to teach my clients and business owners how to focus, which is something that I have learned about myself and what I have learned from coaching them. I instructed them on how to select particular objectives and engagements in every aspect of their lives, as well as how to concentrate intently on a single objective at a time, much like a laser beam. The world is yours to conquer if you are able to accomplish it. Now, in actuality, there is only one destination that all of the labor and time management may bring us to: focus. It is the capacity to focus one's full attention on a single job, such as developing a list of priorities or determining what is most important, and to continue working on that one task until it is completed. When you are concentrating, you are moving forward in a straight path toward the goals and objectives that you have clearly established. Focusing one's attention without being distracted or diverted is what it signifies. 25 years of research have led me to the conclusion that the factors that contribute to success and happiness in life are focus and concentration. A lack of concentration and a lack of focus are the factors that contribute to a lack of achievement and an overall sense of discontent. The final point to be made is the first of all. I have discovered the most crucial principle of time management or personal productivity of all. Write a list of everything you do in the morning before you start work, and then choose the one item on that list that is more important than any other item on that list in terms of the potential repercussions it could have. Begin with that one assignment and devote 100% of your time to working on it until it is finished. If you are able to accomplish that, you will be able to increase your production by a factor of 2 or 3, and you will also become one of the most highly compensated and respected individuals in your world. Choose the activity that is the most important to you. Begin working on it right away and devote 100% of your time to it until it is finished. If you do right, there is no telling how much you will achieve. It is just as great an honor to live with completed. Eckhart Tolle often speaks about the power of the present moment, where all true creation and productivity happen. When we stop chasing endless tasks and instead learn to quiet the mind, we can work with clarity and purpose. The key is not how much we do, but how fully we engage with the task at hand. Success arises from our ability to be fully present, free from distractions, and aligned with the flow of life, allowing things to unfold naturally. Now, here is a fantastic payoff. In the event that you successfully finish a significant assignment, you will experience a rise in your sense of self-esteem and personal strength. Your self-confidence increases, you experience an increase in energy and ideas, and you experience an increase in happiness with yourself. When you finish a task, your brain releases endorphins, which are chemicals that make you feel happy, alert, and creative. Endorphins are released whenever another work is finished. Their ability to fortify your immune system ensures that you will never become ill. Embrace it. You will discover that successful people always begin and finish tasks, and more importantly, they begin and finish them on time. This is the single most important thing that successful people do. So what are the prerequisites for this? It demands self-discipline, which is both our old friend and our old enemy. According to what we know about task completion, not only is it the key to the future, but it is also the key to getting more and greater and better opportunities. Important task completion, which is defined as doing something that is important to you and carrying it through and finishing it to the fullest extent possible at the end, is a source of energy, enthusiasm, and high self-esteem. Unquote. People who are continually working on getting essential things done and staying with them to finish them are more positive, more optimistic, more self-confident, full of confidence, have more belief and self-assurance in themselves, and they receive more opportunities to complete more tasks. This is true for both men and women. One of the negative consequences of performing low-pressure chores is that it can lead to stress. When you put in a lot of effort and accomplish a lot of minor things, but those things aren't pushing you closer to the accomplishment of things that are truly important to you, the effect is that you end up feeling terrible. According to our findings, the typical person in the United Kingdom, Germany, and France puts in approximately 600 hours of work per year. Approximately 2,000 hours of work are put in by an executive or business owner on an annual basis. It is necessary to take your annual salary and divide it by 2,000 in order to arrive at the answer. So let's imagine that you have an annual income of $100,000. When you divide that number by 2,000, you get an hourly wage of $50. I am referring to your hourly pricing. In the long run, you can take into account all of your perks, pensions, and other such things. But regardless of what this is, let's assume that your hourly wage is $50. Therefore, according to Ricardo's law, which is also known as the law of comparative advantage, which was developed by David Ricardo, you should avoid doing anything that pays less than $50 per hour. In addition to everything else that you delegate, you only perform tasks that pay you $50 an hour or more, or that other people would pay you £50 an hour or more to accomplish at the same time. If there is something that another person is capable of doing for $10 an hour, you need to employ that person to do it. $20 an hour, $30 an hour, you continue to hire people who are capable of performing jobs at a lower hourly rate than you are. This is the grand discovery, and it has the potential to completely transform one's life. The law of three is what I know it as. According to the law of three, regardless of how many things you do or how many activities you do in a week or a month, and the average number is 20 or 30, 3 of those duties are responsible for as much as 90% of your value. And only 3. Making a list of all of your responsibilities is something that you do, and I do the same thing with the owners of my businesses. When I have them go through this, they are amazed. Due to the fact that I ask them the 3 magic questions, they are able to double their revenue in just 30 days. Your first magical question is as follows. If you could only perform one thing on this list, one activity on this list, for the entirety of the day, which one of these tasks would have the most significant beneficial impact on your professional life? What is the one task? Therefore, it will most likely come out. There is a circle that you place around it because it will spring out at you. And then you ask, if you could only do 2 things for the entire day, which of those 2 activities would you choose to perform? In other words, you encircled that topic. What would be the 3rd activity on your list of things to do if you could only do 3 things all day long? In other words, you encircled that topic. All of a sudden, it seems as though all of these other responsibilities completely disappear, just like a camera shot in a movie. You begin to fade, and with those 3 chores sitting there, like the 3 magic tabs, you come to the realization, oh my God, those are the big 3. Everything else is taken into consideration as unimportant. The remaining tasks can be completed by another individual, completed at a later time, or not completed at all. Following that, you concentrate on the 3. The rule that will allow you to double your income and then double it again is as follows. Do fewer things, but do more important things, and ensure that you do them more frequently. Get better at doing them. Repeat. Reduce the number of things you do, the 3 most important things. Take care of more vital matters. Engage in more of them. Devote a greater portion of your day to working on those 3 activities. The next step is to improve your performance in those duties so that you can complete more work in a shorter amount of time while maintaining a higher level of quality. You will experience a profound change in your life if you put the law of 3 into practice. If you combine this with the eat the frog strategy and work on the activity that is most essential to you, the one that has the potential to bring the greatest value, and you continue to do this until it becomes a habit, simply automatic. You get up in the morning and you just start working on the item that is most important to you, and you say, "No, I don't do that." Is that something you do? I do not focus on little matters. It is not my responsibility to do that. There are those who ask, "What about this? Exactly what is that?" I responded by saying, "Excuse me, I'm management, and my labor is responsible for all of these other things, and each and every one of them. Therefore you, the person who is currently watching this, are you a member of management or labor? Imagine that you are a member of management and fulfill your 3 responsibilities. If you are able to do this until it becomes a habit, you are going to revolutionize the entire world. May this be your wish excuse to stay alive and to lead this wonderful world, which will finally be rest from the woeful condition of your fragile health which awaits you. Eckhart Tolle teaches that we often become trapped in the busyness of our lives, focusing on constant doing rather than being. His teachings remind us to not only manage our tasks, but also to be fully present in each moment. When we center ourselves in the present, we start to see how each task aligns with our greater purpose, just as Eckhart emphasizes the importance of being connected to the now. True productivity arises from this deeper awareness, where success is measured not by the quantity of tasks we complete, but by the quality of our presence as we engage with them. If you want to continue on your journey of self-discovery, make sure to subscribe to this channel to ensure living more in the present moment. Reply with the word "now" in the comments when this message made sense to you, and if you want to continue growing in the future. Also, consider giving this video a like or sharing it with someone who might benefit from a gentle reminder to slow down in life and be more awake.